All right, welcome to the largest SupNerd podcast panel in the history of the SupNerd podcast with all four of us. This is the podcast where we talk about gaming, nerd culture, and everything in between. I'm your host and founder of SupNerd, Victoria Cheng, and we do have a video version of this podcast available on YouTube and MeWatch by Mediacorp. So if you want to put a face to our lovely voices, do check those out. Links are in the description below. So let's get into this week's episode about MMOs. I would love to introduce our panel. You'll see some familiar faces and some new ones. We have Kym.
Hello.
Again, hi, Kym. We also have Kentrell, also known as Kwek.
Hello.
And Marcus.
Hi there.
We.
Slash hello. Slash wave.
Slash wave. Slash bow. Slash clap.
Slash dead.
Slash dads. Yeah, so the reason these guys are here today is because we've all, immersed ourselves into MMORPGs in one way or another. Some of us much more than others. Marcus is the co-founder of Aftershock. Actually, I think our first Aftershock computer was...
Because we wanted to play WoW.
Yeah, we wanted to play WoW together with Marcus. So I felt like, he's just, you're so passionate about MMOs. Okay, so let's actually get into our background in MMOs and our experience with it. For myself, my first MMO was EverQuest. I was like 15, 16 years old. I don't think I played it the right way, in that I didn't join a guild or anything, and I didn't really do end game content. I just did a lot of like grinding. I played Ultima Online. I dabbled in Final Fantasy, not too much, but what really got me was World of Warcraft. We have the official cookbook right here. We can make some Westfall stew. But it's funnily enough why it was so impactful in my life. I was so addicted to it. Like, it was taking hours and hours of my time. Even if I flew overseas, I would raid at like US time while I was in Hong Kong and vice versa. And it was so detrimental to my life. My school grades started plummeting, but my gear was looking really awesome. Like, I got some amazing endgame loot. But because of that, and it took so many years and hours of my life, that is actually why I switched to a Mac, because I needed to stop gaming so much. And WoW was actually, that's how much MMOs have impacted my life. But obviously, I've returned to PC world, and now I'm looking back into MMOs again. So with that, Marcus, tell us about your history with MMOs.
Well, so the thing here is that I think there's two different types of MMO players. You have the people that have tried like a wide variety of MMOs. I'm actually from a different camp where I came from the competitive gaming scene, so I was playing real-time strategy games at a competitive level. I always thought that I wouldn't like MMOs because, like, to me, any game that didn't have a competitive ladder that you could climb, I generally wouldn't touch. And yeah, at that time I was playing WARCRAFT 3, and a lot of my clanmates were trying the World of Warcraft beta. At the time, they said this is the sickest thing we've ever played, and I didn't really believe them at the time because I was like, you gotta come back and ladder, if not you're gonna deteriorate. And yeah, pretty much what happened after that was that when Classic came out, I decided to give it a shot. Because most of my guild mates had formed a guild called PAP. and everybody had themed names. And so I decided to just join the game and give it a try, and just absolutely blown away. At first I found it a bit slow. For World of Warcraft, I played on the Alliance as a human warrior at the time. Leveling up was really slow for a warrior in Classic. But the first time I experienced a 5-man dungeon, the Dead Mines, like, I was blown away by the team play, like just the immersive aspect of it, and it was just amazing. And from there I was really, really sold. So
nothing like cookies.
Yeah, essentially following that, World of Warcraft became my life for like about 3 years. Like, in World of Warcraft, there's a function where you can type /played to see how long you've played, and I think mine set at like 3 years of in-game time or something. So it was absolutely all-consuming. I dropped everything. It was like my full-time job. Eventually, I had a guild. We had about 200 people. I was the GM and the raid leader, and before every raid, preparing everything. Preparing the website, making sure DKP was properly recorded, ensuring people that were treated fairly in the guild, loot was distributed properly. It was like a full-time job basically. But if you ask me now, I don't regret any of it. Like World of Warcraft is a very fond memory to me, and I've made lifelong friends from it.
It made you the man you are today.
No, I think I think there's really something to that, and people have joked about it in the past. I'm freaking like South Park made a whole episode about it. But honestly, when you get to that level of rating or even PvP where you need to keep track of DKP, or basically a point system to make sure everything's distributed fairly, tracking the economy in game on different servers, to raid leading, to guild leading. There's so many people involved. I think there are actual skills that translate into real life.
Management skills?
Yes. Yes, management skills. And people skills. Honestly, people skills.
I would say one thing that does transfer is handling conflict. And there's a lot of it. There was a lot of it in World of Warcraft. I still remember the first time we had a 40-man raid, and the first epic weapon dropped for my guild. I wasn't a guild master at the time. I was just a member, and it was I still remember the name of the weapon. Azu Song Mage Blade.
What was it?
Yeah, basically like I think it was plus 40 spell power or something, and basically every caster in the guild went nuts.
Yeah.
And the guild leader gave it to his girlfriend, and we had people G quitting all over the place.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's messed up. I would be mad.
yeah, so
Was she even like the right class?
she was. She was the right class, but
Okay.
I think DKP is one factor and performance is another factor in distributing loot. But back then it was still not very refined. So I think even when I took the helm of the guild eventually and had other guilds, a big part of the thing was making sure people understood why loot was distributed a certain way, because you want people to feel like the efforts that they put in, the time that they put in, as well as how that translates in the actual performance in raid. If you're doing content pushing, they're getting properly rewarded for it, and you're not like just taking care of your inner circle of friends in the guild. Yeah,
So it's fair.
Absolutely. Yeah, that reminds me of a story. I got slighted. I became a raid leader because I wanted to farm for Zinrock, the big two-hander sword. I was a hunter. And then I farmed the crap out of Zul'Gurub, and then a freaking pally took my Zinrock. I was very upset.
I might be inclined to say, not everything is a hunter weapon.
No, but I farmed all the warriors got their Zinrock already, and then that's why I was farming as a hunter and learned how to raid or lead the raid. And then a freaking pally, of all people, a pally. He didn't even. I was a high DPS. Anyway, sorry. Maybe the less aggressive players are people who's like very upset by these things. I feel like feeling very emotional now. Kentrell, tell us about what MMOs you played. And I guess the capacity that you played it. Like, how did it touch your life?
Same thing. I was farming for the Sword of 1,000 Truths. I didn't do any of that. My first MMO, I'm a lot, I guess, younger than all. So my first MMO was seriously just like internet back then wasn't that good. I couldn't really
Back
download.
then,
Like 5 years ago?
When I was like
The three people here from the 56K era.
There's like a 10-year age gap just for context.
little bit. But when I was like 8 or 9 years old, I guess, so like early 2000s, I heard about games like MapleStory. I don't know if WoW was a thing back then. So first MMO I probably played, I don't know if this counts as an MMO, but RuneScape, maybe? Like the classic, it's not even you don't really have skills or anything unless you, I guess, train them up like, I don't know, cutting wood, cutting down trees, that kind of stuff. So
I don't know much about
it's very like bare bones. I don't know. It's not really even a thing.
It sounds something like, okay, I haven't played RuneScape, but recently there was a game that went pretty viral called Valheim.
Yes.
yeah.
It sounds like an MMO infused with that kind of like Minecraft elements.
Survival.
Survival and essentially building a character up from absolutely nothing and fully customizable characters. So I could see that being very popular for the hardcore crowd.
It was it was just this browser-based thing, so it was easy to get into.
Oh.
And I think the unique thing about RuneScape was that if you died, you lost all your equipment except for 3 of the best ones or something like that.
Oof.
So as a kid, it's just, I don't know, you see your friends playing it in school in the computer lab, you kind of want to try it out, and then you die and it's like, okay, this game sucks, I'm not doing this anymore. And then other games that other kids played, MapleStory, eventually tried WoW at some point, and that was fun. I really got into the lore of things, read the books, that's about it.
No, that's amazing. Especially I was telling you the other day in game on Valorant, of course it's Valorant. I was WoW Classic. Sorry, WoW Burning Crusade was being relaunched, and so I was talking about it in game with someone, and I asked him like, "Oh, do you play any WoW?" And he's like, "I'm a little young for that game." And I was just like, "Oh, I didn't know." So the fact that you even played it, I'm like, "All right." Did you do any end game content, or like, how did you interact with WoW?
That's the thing. I don't know if it's just a Singaporean thing because you have to pay, you have to subscribe to get into WoW. So not a lot of my friends did, at least in school. So
Because you were 5.
I
basically stole my mom's credit card. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, you know, I did it on my own. I played it alone because I saw like videos on YouTube and I wanted to try.
Oh
And
my god, YouTube already existed by the time you tried it.
like really old
Amazing.
YouTube. And yeah, it's just I didn't really have any friends to play with, so a lot of like things that I did, even dungeons, it was done through the dungeon finder thing. I
With
wasn't able to
pugs
do any
still.
raids. Yeah, it's all pugs. Tried out PvP at some point. I think I had a little bit more fun with that. But other than that, it's just, you know, casual questing, exploring the world. When you get your first mount, the flying one at least, and it's like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wish I had friends that I could do more of this
Oh
stuff
my
with.
god.
But I
WoW
didn't.
is supposed to be the place where you make friends. That's so interesting that you kept playing though. One of my brothers plays it similarly, but how far in did you get, you know, playing this way?
Not very far. I think I topped out at about level 60. Level cap was about 80. I joined around Cataclysm, so
Oh.
also not very old, I guess.
So
Still,
A lot of new features are already in.
two things.
Yeah.
Two things. Basically, you came in at the worst time possible. I think Cataclysm was
That's true.
probably one of the worst expansions for WoW, just in my opinion. And secondly, it was the time when they started introducing all the automated features.
oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I think like for an MMO, a big part of the allure is the community on the server. Like for example, you get to know most of the prominent people on the server, people that mess around a lot, the people that gank or camp others a lot.
Oh yeah.
You get to know who are the people who are always very loud in the cities and stuff. So that when they introduced the looking for group system, the automated systems, you know, a lot of that went away. Like, you know, going to trade chat and looking for group in the city and stuff. That was some of the magic. Yeah, and what I think about WoW is that if you don't reach the end game, you don't truly experience the game. So you might have missed out on a little bit there.
I definitely did. I definitely did.
We're hoping we can fix that though. This episode is also to recruit any people in an upcoming game.
SupNerd Guild.
SupNerd Guild. I really like PvP though. That's great. That's
That's
like,
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, I didn't come up with that name.
It's so good. Kym, you know, you tried MMOs in the past. You said that you weren't super into it.
Just WoW. Like I tried to play Burning Crusade when it first came out. I don't think you were born. But like what really drew me in
Just
was when we started again, you know, and because of Marcus's influence, he basically was like, hey, you gotta play. And getting back into it, what the biggest draw for me was and what got me to like endgame was switching my my race to troll. Yeah, no. It was just the troll thing because I'd always been playing either undead or actually no, just undead, and I really didn't like the city and blood elf, and so it felt really lame. But then the troll like lore and aesthetic was really fun. Das Dingo, and I didn't get sick of any of that like.
Jamaican island.
Yeah, that like
They don't even get their own city,
that
man.
vibe. Yeah, they get like a little
They,
beach.
they literally get the Echo Isles, like a bunch of islands. And
Exactly. But I mean that's
And
what
then
got
Marcus
me
came
to
pick us up in his like
in his
fancy-
stupid rocket. And then you like fly on and then we'd all die.
you get a love rocket for recruiting a friend. To play.
Exactly. But I mean and that kind of spurred it on. And then, you know, I mean, Vic's got brothers that also play. So along with her and the brothers and Marcus
Your cousins.
and my
Definitely
cousins,
involved.
yeah, it was just a fun, like, it became fun to grind because, like you said, it was a social thing. But I'm not about to go in and, you know, make friends with random like people.
There's a magic
So
to it though.
yeah,
I enjoyed
Hey.
it. That was-
I've made
I'm
lifelong
a
friends,
girl.
like you said, from WoW.
and I want to look for group with you or something. Like to
Looking
me,
for
I was yeah, LFGF. But like for me, that social aspect really helps sell the whole route to endgame, and it was legitimately fun. And I played a shaman, and I didn't like the hunter. I tried hunter, and it's fun to play, but I like the versatility of a shaman, because you don't do anything very well, but you can do a lot of things, so you can be a healer.
Jack of all
He's
trades.
like
It's a hybrid class, but
yeah.
in the end,
hate you.
most shamans end up as healers in the
Yeah.
end game.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Like to me, it was fun to heal people.
Okay, granted, I think classic versus what WoW is now is very different, and also now that we're older and that we've experienced, like at least two of us have experienced all of it before, I don't know if I would even play it the same way again. I don't think I have time or the patience to do that. So why we're talking about these old games, MMORPGs, the whole genre and the nature of the game is a sure win. It's got social aspects. You can role play in this role. You can play in so many different ways, whether you just leather working or doing like cookbook recipes or fishing. I have friends who do like just that, or you just level up, or if you just want to make it's called a twink. It means something very different in this game, where you kind of hit maybe level 19, you max out all your gear, then you go into PvP and you just dominate within that 10
You just
level.
bully other people.
Yeah, you
pretty
bully
much.
other people, and it's like the anti-Smurf, I guess, or it's basically smurfing. It's smurfing, yeah. Back then, it's called twink.
It's smurfing on steroids, because nobody. You basically go into a dungeon where or instance, a PvP instance where you outgear everyone like 5-1 and just kill everybody with 2 hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, I never understood twinking, because to me it was like, if you want to play PvP, you play at the highest level in the arena or whatnot, where everybody has an equal, somewhat equal opportunity, equal gear.
Skilled away.
Yeah, where
Actual
it's
skill.
the
It's
it's the
true
skill
though.
that makes the difference. Whereas if you're a twink, you're like a twink rogue, everybody you hit dies in one ambush.
But your brother plays it like that.
Yeah, my brother doesn't do it in the arena. What he did was the moment that he hit a level where you could enter a contested zone, he went to the enemy contested zone and just started attacking people.
Oh, that's
Because
great too.
yeah,
though.
he just likes the PvP aspect.
Yeah, but there's a beauty in that too, and that's my point. It's like there's something for everyone. If you just want to go kill innocent lobies who are just farming level 5, just farming there, and they stray a little bit too far from the guards, you just kill them. It's great. I've been participating in that. It's like the early days of teabagging. So there's a sure win. There's something for everyone. There's a social aspect. You can play it solo. So what I want to know is why. Like, what's wrong with MMOs these days? Like, why aren't any of us playing it anymore?
From my perspective, I think, first of all, I disagree a little bit with some of that, in that I think Final Fantasy is doing very, very well right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really speak too much about it, because at least the friends that I know that were from WoW, who are currently playing Final Fantasy 15, they say it's really, really good. And the first question I always ask, is it similar to WoW? And they said, no, it's unique in its own way. So I've yet to give it a shot to really understand that. But I think the problem that you're talking about is not MMO specific, but more towards the whole gaming industry, the way games are developed today, where in the past, you feel like there's a lot of passion in the game that's been developed. I think today, there's a lot of corporate targets to meet for the development companies. So what you end up with is you end up games being launched out earlier than normal, when in the past where it'll be ready when it's ready. And they come out and they hit the market, and because they're incomplete or because they lack core features, what happens is that a lot of the hype just dies. So I feel like this is something that is plaguing industry in general.
Cyberpunk.
So many, like I've seen real-time strategy games launch without a ladder. Like that's insane. Like without a chat room or without a ladder. And I think you guys can see some of the FPS games that launched this year, like Battlefield.
Yeah.
Like it looks like there's quite a few complaints,
Yeah.
like from the. I mean, I haven't played the game, so I can't really comment on the game myself.
Yeah.
But looking at what's going on Reddit and stuff, it looks.
Dire.
Yeah. But essentially, my opinion on that is that I think that the whole nature of the game development industry has changed. The work is being done under different circumstances, and because of that, what happened in the past where a game hits the ground running hot, and people get hyped, and the developers are just there on the fly to make all the changes and fixes, so they show that they are in tune with the community, moving the game along the path that the community wants to see it go. I think a lot of that is very rare in today's in today's industry. So that to me, that to me is one of the things holding it back, as well as the way, the direction of the game and the priorities in terms of how they develop MMO, who they prioritize. Is it the casual market? Is it the hardcore market? They just try to please everyone now.
I think that's really true. And I think WoW is just such a good example of everything that you've been saying. And it's not the only MMO, but it is also the MMO if you think about the last 10, 15 years. What I think, Kym, you found really fun was when you discovered that you could mod the game.
Oh, yeah.
And you just had so much fun with that. And I think that was kind of the beauty of Classic as well. With, like, by the time, Kentrell, when you were playing, and you said there's like an automated system where you can find a group, and that, you know, that just again takes away from the experience. To what Marcus was saying as well, like they just implement all these things to make it as easy as possible. So in a way, it's very accessible, but at the same time, you alienate all the people who have, you know, been there since the beginning and love it for certain aspects that they've, you know, we've all kind of like worked on.
I'm sure there's a science behind it. I'm sure they like looked at the stats and everything, like, and decided that this was the way to go for the game development, creating all the automated tools and everything.
Do you like it though? With now that you're older and you don't have as much time to play.
I personally don't like it. Like even now, because I feel like part of the magic of MMO is entering this unknown world, exploring, meeting people. Like you said that you don't like meeting people. Like one of the best things for me was like meeting a guild of people. Say, because I would always look for a Singaporean guild, and you meet them outside for the first time, like 30 people or whatever, and everybody introduces themselves as like I'm the hunter, you know, wildlife man or something. Like it's quite a magical experience, and even it came to the point where our guild literally had a hangout steamboat where we would meet every time the server was on maintenance.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday. Yeah. I met my guildmates by accident in like a social, like I was at a Thanksgiving dinner, and then there were a lot of friends of friends there, and they're like, oh yeah, Victoria plays WoW, do you guys play WoW? And then we found out, wait, what server? Shadow Moon? And then we like started going, wait. And then because we're all like top end game guilds, we knew who each other were in games, like, oh my god, you're that guy, oh my god, you're that priest. It's just cool. Yeah. There are 2 MMOs that are kind of coming out that I think were interesting, and why this topic even came up, because Marcus is like the ultimate salesman. When like it's a game he's really into, he like just, I don't know, he's his passion is just like sucks us all in.
Play WoW. Okay. Yes, Marcus. Yes, my lord.
So he started again, and he's like, I heard about this new game, and it's been out for a while, I think in Korea and Russia, called Lost Ark. But it's coming out in English for like at least certain, like, you know,
certain regions, yeah.
Certain regions. Next month or really soon.
February 11th, I believe.
That's the exact date.
Yeah.
Give us the sales pitch.
No, the thing
Why
about this
should
is
we
that
play this game?
The thing about this is that I'm actually not the one that was pushing to play this game. It was a friend of mine that showed it to me at a gathering, and essentially it's like, it looks like a Diablo-esque kind of game. It looks like a, you know, isometric view, third person, like, you know, hack and slash kind of game. And what struck me about the gameplay is that the sound effects and the spells, they look really awesome. And I think that's a big part of these kind of games, where essentially when you cast a spell, when you attack an enemy, you want to feel the impact, like it has to feel satisfying. I think they nailed that with this game, though I've yet to really try it since it's only in Korea and Russia, though a lot of my friends are like playing on those servers. Yeah, but I think the part that really interested me was that it's like that isometric top-down view, so Diablo-ish game, but it's got MMO elements. So when my friend showed me, they could have like a mass multiplayer raid boss, where the raid boss looked just like a WoW raid boss, but it was from a top-down view. I thought that was pretty exciting, and just the idea that someone's developing a game like that, I want to give it a try. And the classes, they look extremely diversified. There's a lot of options. I don't know how the hell they're going to balance that. But I mean, they probably have already done a pretty decent job of it since the game has been out a while overseas. But when it comes, definitely we're planning to give it a try.
Yeah. The balance thing, like, so after Marcus sold it, I just went on this like Google spree. But because it's been out for 4 years, they're releasing 5 classes in the Western release, but there's like 8 or 9 classes in total.
I think it's more, man.
Yeah, well, there's like main classes, and then there's subclasses underneath that, which is just, it blows my mind. But, you know, it's funny when you're saying that, like, you know, the issue with game development and stuff, this is the one game where, like, it sounds like the developers are super passionate about Lost Ark. Like they realize that, like it's seeming a bit too pay to win, so they dumb down a lot of credit systems and whatnot so that it doesn't come off as pay to win, and it does feel a little bit more fair. And that was just an optics thing, because the mechanic was fair, but they just want to make sure the uptake is as broad as possible, that everybody enjoys the game. Yeah, like super excited because it's Diablo, and I love Diablo. So having a top-down but MMO kind of game that's similar to RO, and yeah.
Like that could be the keyword, because there are other Diablo-esque games that are out there right now, like Path of Exile. But I don't think they've done that MMO thing before. Right?
So I suggest when you go back, you go to YouTube, just search for Lost Ark raid and just watch a video of what a raid looks like. Yeah. It's pretty exciting. It's like 10
play Lost Ark.
It literally looks like like 10 people trying to play Twister in a small space.
You will love it.
With one big raid boss that has multiple phases.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And going back to what Kym said about the passion and the developers, actually, my opinion on that is that, as someone who's not doing game development in the industry, I think we can't really understand what they're going through. But I think a lot of people that develop games, even in the big corporate companies, I think they're probably very passionate. That's why they're doing it in the first place. But I think the corporate objectives probably get in the way of that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure in whatever genre, I'm sure whatever games, even the games that we think aren't doing so well now, or maybe they're still working on it to make it better.
Right.
I'm sure a lot of them will get better. I'm sure all the developers who have developed it, they love their game, and they probably have have to separate between their own objectives for what they want to see in the game and what the corporate wants them to implement, pay to win or whatever.
Let me clarify that statement. It's like if they're all aligned to the common goal, then
it's perfect.
Yeah.
But if
corporate, if only when money comes into the picture, I think it gets difficult. Yeah.
Because at some point, they really just do dumb down the games. I mean, I don't know if you guys have tried like mobile games, MMOs on mobile phones. I mean, not to disrespect anyone who does enjoy mobile games, but I've wanted to kind of experience that on the go sometimes. So I download some games, but they just have so many auto features, like auto quest, auto run. You just press one button, the whole game does it for you. That you're not even playing the game anymore. You're doing nothing.
That's like the next level. At first, it was
strange. Go.
At first, it was dumbing down the mechanics of the game. And now this is like the next level. Yeah. Like it used to be. The mantra used to be the best, in my opinion. The best development mantra used to be easy to learn with a massively high skill ceiling. So a lot of games that have lasted the test of time, like CS and I like that. They're easy to pick up. You look at it, you immediately know how to play. But to become good at it, it's like you need to put obscene amounts of effort and talent. You need to have some talent to get to the top. I mean, there is to be politically correct. There is, you can get so far with hard work in games, in my opinion. As someone who's tried to compete and decided that I couldn't get to the top because there's talent can get you up to a certain point, and then you will play against people who have hard work. So if someone works really hard and plays against someone who has lots of talent, they may go on par, but like the guy may use hard work to catch up. But what if you have someone who works bloody hard and is also talented? Then you have a genius.
Yeah.
And when I was on the competitive scene, the first time I met someone like that, I was like,
tap out now. This is why I became a caster. I don't have that talent.
Maybe I can just talk about it.
Exactly.
And one thing that was magical about the original World of Warcraft, in its classic form, and even in Burning Crusade, I'd say, was there was a lot of little intricate details about the classes that you could learn about, like shot weaving for a hunter, for example, like to get to sort of weave shots between your auto attacks and stuff, and that created a lot of discrepancies between the different players. Like you would have 3 hunters, but you'd have drastically different performance between 3 of them. I really enjoyed those elements.
DPS meters.
I really enjoyed
your cooldowns and your rotations.
So you literally have
you need to know.
You literally have people in the raid who are just there to fill, and people who want to min-max everything. And I think that was the fun of it. Though, of course, I think that was the situation back then as well, without information being so prevalently available everywhere. Whereas now everybody can watch a YouTube video for like the best DPS rotation. Yeah.
It's true, and
Back in my day.
I know, but really, oh my god, when I think by the time they got to like the 4th expansion, like anything after the 3rd, you hear a lot of the classic the vanilla players who are just not having it. Like, what is this easy mode? Like, you've taken away back in my day situation. New World, when did it come out? Last year? When did it drop?
End of the year.
And
End of the
yeah,
I think late in
November.
Did any of you guys play it?
I tried it.
Did you like it?
Nah. I mean, I was okay with it, but it wasn't my cup of tea. I prefer the more traditional MMOs. Definitely not hack and slash from a third person perspective. Yeah, but the game had, I mean, the population dropped quite a bit, didn't it?
Yeah. I had a lot of FPS friends that tried it, but yeah, I think once they reached endgame, they tried some stuff out, and once it's done, then all right, that's it. One more is there to do.
Yeah.
There are a lot of comparisons between, Blizzard and then now Riot. And now Riot had the rumors about them dropping their MMO. I don't know if you have any info. I have literally no information on this. So I'm curious to see what Riot's going to bring to the table. What would you want to see? I mean, as someone who started, I don't know. You're a different age group. Someone your age. What would you want to see in MMO? I was trying to think of a way to phrase it, and I was like, I don't know another way to phrase it. So
Age group.
yeah.
Battle Royale.
Oh, hell no. Lots of dances and emotes, skins that make you look cool. No.
Floss dances.
Weirdly, all that stuff is in WoW, and all their unique dances. So yeah.
I mean, some of those dances were like pretty fun references to some things.
Yeah.
Like, what was it?
Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
And there's the one with the Tauren at the Indian dance. That was pretty funny and interesting.
You can tell what year this was made in.
Yeah. It's like fun little things. I think that the Night Elf dance was like some French thing as well.
Yeah.
If I can remember correctly.
It's a sexy dance.
I can't remember what it was.
YouTube video.
It was
the female
I
Night Elf,
remember
yeah.
because it was in so many like memes or whatever memes were called back then. But yeah.
Memes had a different name back then.
Yeah, we
Memes?
called them floop flops. I don't think you were
Sorry,
you weren't born.
Nah, flip-flops. No. I mean, I think that social aspect is really something that has to be nailed down, because if you're playing alone, it's just not the same. You just feel sad all the time.
and that's where LFG screws things up, because you just click and you find people. You do the dungeon and then you
That's it.
leave
There's
the
zero
group,
interaction needed.
and you don't ever. You just think that if I need to find people again, I'll just press it again, and you don't ever have that deeper interaction. It's like when you look for people in trade for a group of 5, and then you finally form that squad and you go to the dungeon, and then you remember the ones that perform well. You remember them and you're like, oh, I need to add you to friends. I need to have you in my list.
You have an actual conversation as opposed to just joining a lobby.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
And,
cool.
Yeah. It's like and then if they suck, you're like, okay, blacklist.
Can I add you? No English.
But back to Riot's MMO, my opinion of that is I think Riot in its current the current games that they have, they're all really really good. So and you can see their games are all easy to learn and with a high skill ceiling. Like I recently have been playing a bit of League of Legends, and the heroes are really straightforward to learn. It's easy to pick up the game because they have heroes that are really easy to use. At the same time, they have heroes that are pretty advanced and with a massive skill ceiling. And I'm sure that if they do develop an MMO, I think they'll bring a lot of those elements across. If they do, and I think it'll be good, whatever it is they produce. I mean, look at Valorant.
Yeah.
Would you want it to look more like WoW? And I ask that question because I feel like that tried and true kind of format.
You mean like fantasy setting or the game?
No,
mechanics?
as in like just the gameplay mechanics and stuff, because it's been copied so many times, because it's like the benchmark for MMOs,
Yeah.
as I understand it. But
I would say it's the standard, because it's just so well known.
I do like WoW, and I still like the formula. I do think PvP could be better. And I do think that if Riot did an MMO where there was a regular content cycle, like new content on a regular basis without huge gaps between for the hardcore players, I think it will do well. Like if even for like WoW, the latest expansion Shadowlands, I liked it. But I just didn't like how long you had to wait between content patches. Like there'll be this gap.
Shadowlands.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. Like I didn't raid in it. Like it was the first expansion that I played where I exclusively PvP. So all I did was play arena. But I still enjoyed some of the arena aspect. Though there were some imbalances, and I wish that the changes could happen more frequently to the balance. Though of course I'm sure there's their reasons like they can't rush without collecting data. Yeah, I think it was pretty good. Like it could have been great.
Do you not go back to Classic and, BC relaunch and stuff because you've already been there, done that? Is there a reason why you don't go back to that world?
I went back to it. I actually created a character for Classic. Some of my friends were playing it. But it's just there wasn't enough people I knew playing it that I wanted to play with. Whereas for the new expansion Shadowlands, I had a whole guild like ready to come back to play together. Like it was so much like that. Like our guild was so bonded that it was like, 8 years on, it's like call everyone, hey, we're gonna come back. Anybody wanna come? Everybody comes back.
It's like a reunion, honestly, a high school reunion.
Pretty much.
We were talking about before we started recording. One thing I would look forward to in a new MMO is that there will be a completely new look. The thing about WoW, stuff is not so exclusive anymore. It's very achievable to get certain, I guess, skins. And they've made weapons into skins, and you can like transfer it and like buy the skin to put over it and.
Transmog,
yeah. And I hate it. I hate it because I've like worked so hard, and like now anyone can just apply it on anything.
It's not exclusive.
So some people love that because they can customize the character to look a certain way.
I love it.
Like some people love it. Like so I can understand why they have it.
People who did work for
but
it love it.
There's a few things that I didn't really enjoy so much in it. Well, of course, was exclusivity is one part of it. Like when you work so hard to finish up your 8/8 Dragon Stalker or whatever, you want to enjoy that exclusively of strutting around Ironforge with your armor set.
I thought how it works is that once you get the item, then you enable the transmog, because that's how it works in Diablo.
It does, but the whole point of like the whole thing about WoW in Classic and in the early stages was that before transmog came into the picture, if you step into the city and you see someone looking like shining armor, you're like, that guy's decked. Right now, if you go into a new city and you go in, there's tons of people transmogged with gear from the last expansion, like high end gear. So it's like you can't tell who's geared.
Oh, I see. So they would have gotten it in the last expansion.
Yes,
but.
So they could be like absolutely made zero progress in the new expansion, but they'll look like they are endgame.
But that's still okay, right?
I mean, it's okay, but it takes away some of the magic of like like you like I said, it's a community thing, the magic thing where you walk into a city and like those are the guys, those are the guys from that elite guild, and they're all wearing.
And they
like
hang together, like in Ironforge, they'll hang in one part in front of the bank, and like that's where that guy hangs out.
They all stand on the bridge.
I'm with them. You put your guild tag up. I'm with them.
They all stand on the bridge and they all keep emoting or whatever. I mean, the point is like they got to find a balance because there's two.
We go there and we slash dance.
There's two camps. Like I mean, like look like when we cleared the heroic mode in Warcraft Lich King for where we did all the achievements. Or it was just heroic mode, I think, for the dungeon. So they unlock a Drake. Right. I think it was called Ironbound Proto Drake or something. Anyway, basically it's like super rare mount. So like the whole guild would gather, everybody stand in a row at a flight point, and then take a screenshot, and then it goes on the website. I mean, those are special moments.
I have a MySpace dedicated to like screenshots from WoW.
Yeah.
MySpace was a website.
I was video editing. Like that's WoW got me into. By the time I was in uni, I did computer science and then video editing, and everything was related, always linked back to WoW. It was like my inspiration. But yeah, anyway, my point is the impact of MMOs that can have on your life, especially when you really get integrated into the community. I think Marcus really explained it really well, that the feeling, for the people who really immerse into it.
For the Riot MMO, what's your opinion? Like, if it looked like WoW, but I don't know, maybe with Riot characters with the same kind of gameplay mechanics.
So now what's interesting is that I don't have time to play something at the same pace as WoW Classic anymore. I don't have that time anymore. But what I was upset or unhappy about in the WoW developments is that the art. Again, we're talking about art now. We've just like gone to a point where why does WoW still look the way it looks? It looks so garbage, and it's like it looks like when it was made. It was like ages ago. I don't know how I feel about what's it called, Lost Ark, it's very Korean looking with a very like anime Genshin Impact look.
That's racist.
Every character looks like a supermodel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That's the
character
best
looks
way.
like a K-pop star, and I don't know if I like that either. So I don't want to see that.
Big, like on the
Small.
screen.
No, it doesn't. But I know, we just talked about in the last episode how I spent a lot of time on the character creation moment. Even if you've never seen them, I know what my character looks like. It matters because you go to equipped and you go to your profile page. You know what you look like. I told you I did the screenshots and everything. So I have faith in Riot that we'll do this right, because one thing for sure is that they have a good balance of different types of looks and different types of characters, from very gritty looking ones to like the pretty ones. You got the whole range, and so I hope I see more of that. World building, I hope to see good lore behind it. World of Warcraft, what got me into it initially, besides the MMO aspect, is that it was branching off of the Warcraft series, and I always was intrigued by that anyway. Arthas he's such a awesome,
And the best antagonist.
Yes.
But I feel like I didn't like the recent lore. Like I really feel like they
So
like
badass.
you have for lore you have to have
He's not into Sylvanas.
you have to have characters which you either really dislike or you sort of feel like you can relate in a
Like
sense,
this
like you have.
Thanos character that you want to beat. And-
Yeah, but the whole trend now is characters that are grey, right?
Yes.
Like so when you create a grey character, you need to be able to at least
Sympathize.
sympathize with why they're doing so-called the bad things they're doing.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that's the case in WoW at all.
Exactly.
It's just shoehorned.
Exactly. So it changed. Like they just ran out of ideas. I mean, we kind of know why now over why, like what was going on internally at Blizzard. They just stopped giving many poops about it. So, and it reflects. And what we were all saying about Riot and how much they care about their IPs and the characters and worlds that they're building. I think all the things that I was missing in WoW, I hope to see in Riot's MMO.
Just look at Arcane.
Exactly. There's so much love and effort that went into doing that. So for Lost Ark, I don't know if we're going to see that level of lore. That doesn't seem to come out to me. So I view it the same way I view Diablo, which is like, it's just going to be fun to play with a bunch of friends, more like tactical play reasons rather than immersion. I don't see myself getting immersed in that world. Like I see it playing with you guys because it's going to be fun to like beat that raid boss.
Yeah.
That's my opinion of it.
I mean, it could surprise us, but
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Yeah. I felt differently about WoW. I still enjoy the lore. I just feel like the protagonist and the antagonist, they need to be like really like likable. Yeah, likable or dislikable.
Yes.
Like it can't be sort of sit in the gray. Yeah, but overall, I still think it's decent. It's just for me, it was more of the weight between content.
All right. So with that, I think, that's it for today's episode on MMOs. Feel free to join us on our raids. I don't know what we're going to name it yet. Definitely give us your suggestions. So thank you so much for listening to this episode of SupNerd, together with Marcus, Kentrell, Kym, and myself, Victoria. And if you want to check out our other episodes, you can follow or subscribe on MeListen, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. If you want to get in touch with us, send some feedback, some episode recommendations, or if you just want to say hello, you can do so by reaching out to us on Instagram at SupNerd.tv or myself at Victoria Cheng. Don't forget as well, there's a video version of this on YouTube and MeWatch. This episode is supported by Mediacorp. So thank you. And once again, I'm your host, Victoria Cheng. And until next time, nerds.
See ya.
Today was-
nerds.
Today was especially
Farewell.
nerds.